Did you go to a garage sale or inherit an old lamp like this and want to reuse it or repurpose it? And it comes with a plug like this. I'm going to show you why you don't want to have it and you want to get rid of it as soon as possible. Just to show you, it does work. When it came, as it was, it functions properly. Now, I can take this plug out, I can reverse it, put it back in, and guess what? It still works. So what's wrong with that? Well, let me show you why it's dangerous. And you probably need to go around your house and see if you have any of these old lamps with this kind of a plug and get it changed out as soon as possible. So first I'm going to show you how these electrical outlets work. If you notice, this slot and this slot are two different sizes, and there's a reason for that. It's called a polarized plug. So if I put my black, which is my common, in the ground down here and push it in the little slot, you'll see I've got 124 volts, 125 volts, okay? Now, if I do the same thing over here, but push it into the large slot, I've got nothing, because this is neutral, this is neutral, this is ground. This one's hot, this one's not. Now, if I take this plug, I can plug this plug in this way. I can pull it out. I can reverse it. And I can also push it in this way. There's no magical trick to it or anything. If you notice, both of these prongs are exactly the same. Okay? Exactly the same. This is how they used to be in the old days before they came out with polarized plugs. And there's a good reason for this, and I'm going to show you why. So now with my common into the ground slot on the outlet, I'll take my lead, I touch it back here on the bottom where the bulb plugs in, where the bulb makes contact. If you notice, there's 124 volts, the same voltage, right? Got it right here, same thing, right? That's good. If you stick your finger in here, you'd stick it all the way to the bottom and you'd get electrocuted or a good shock by touching that, right? Well, that's pretty deep. Most people don't go around and stick their finger in a light socket. But let's say you ask your kid or someone doesn't know anything to change a light bulb or whatever, you plug it in and you stick your finger in here for some reason and you touch this silver part, right? Let me show you what happens if I reverse the plug. So I'm going to take this camera, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show you. We're going to take the plug out. I don't want my lead. I pull the plug out, I reverse it, put it back in. Let me get this lead back in here again. Into the ground. Hopefully it's making connection. Well, let's get the lead in here. Let's get the lead in, hanging in the ground right there where it's making connection. Let's come back over here. Let's take a look at what happens. So before, we could touch the bottom at where the base of the lamp makes contact in the socket and we would get voltage, right? But we're not. See, we're getting zero. We're getting zero there. What does that tell us? You take a guess? What looks safe to touch isn't. Because see, we've got full line voltage right there at the end of this socket. Right at the lip of this. Right here. Stick your finger and you're going to get electrocuted. This is why those plugs are dangerous. Now, I'm going to show you the proper plug that you should have, and if you look on most of your lamps, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I've got everything disconnected now, okay? Everything is safe. We can touch this, okay? But we always want that bottom contactor in there to be the hot, never this outside threaded part. It's a safety thing. The wires don't know, the plug doesn't know what's hot or not. You can plug this in one way, the lamp will work. Plug it in the other way, the lamp will still work. But it's dangerous in one way you plug it in. That's why they came out with these a long time ago, called a polarized plug. You see the difference. One of them is wide, see? And one of them is a narrow. That narrow one right there, this narrow one right here, is going to be your hot when you plug it in the wall. And you want to make sure that the wire that comes from this to the lamp lands on the gold contactor. You can take these, you can pull them apart, and you can see the difference. You notice the difference here? Two different colored screws. The gold is the hot. The white is the common. The common is that wide terminal on this plug right here, okay? This, you can see that good. This one right here is going to be the common. This narrow one right here is going to be the hot. And you may ask yourself, well, how do I know which one of these is going to be the hot on the other end of this wire? Because it looks exactly the same. Those wires aren't color coded, right? But if you go up here by this plug, you can feel this wire. Now this wire is clear, you can't really tell the difference, but if you feel closely, the wire that's on the hot side right here, this is the hot, remember? It's really smooth up here on top of the wire. Flip it over. Feel this side. It's got a little ridge on it. I can't zoom in close enough for you, but if you get a wire, if you get one of your cords for your lamp, you can pull it out and you can feel it yourself. Confirm it yourself. This wide terminal has got this ridge on it. So, if I get down to the bottom of the wire here, how do I know which one of these is hot? Now, they're both the same, right? But if I feel on this wire on the top, this one's smooth. This one is the hot. Flip it over. This one's got that ridge on it, okay? That is your neutral. This one will land on this terminal right here, okay? Hot always goes to gold. Whether it's this or an outlet, they're all the same. But this one will, that'll be your hot. Let's wire it up now. I've already pulled the cord out of the lamp. We're going to disconnect these wires from here. Rid of them. One thing about changing out your wire to this, you may have an old socket that is only just on off, right? It may be one of those push, but it's on off. Now, I'm going to show you here in the video, I took some pictures. You can actually change it out for a three-way like this and use a three-way bulb versus just a standard on-off light. So you can upgrade it while you're in the process of changing out the cord. Just want to point that out to you. This is a three-way here, so we're going to go ahead and wire this up. Now on this fixture, what I discovered was this hole that the wire has to go through was tiny compared to that other wire that was a lot smaller. So the insulation, everything's a little bit larger on this. So what we're going to have to do is drill this out a little bit so that we can get that in. This one down here is going to be a little bit more of a challenge as well. It's tight, but we can slide it up in there. That's going to be fine. Getting in here is a little bit more of a challenge. We're going to drill that out. The way I want to do that is I'm going to pick a little bit larger drill bit than the hole size. See, that one fits in just right. We're going to kick it up a notch, drill a little bit larger so that cord will fit in there good. So with a little bit of convincing with some lithium grease and some needle nose pliers, pushing it increments of an inch at a time, I finally got it through here. So pull up enough slack where we can make our connections, and then we'll pull out what we have left over and get her reconnected here. So let's get it connected and come back to it. Since I had a hard time pulling this wire through that smaller tube in there, this part has to screw on first. So screw that on now before you snap that in place. Otherwise, your wire will get all bound up trying to twist it. So this needs to go on first, okay? Just snug, that's all it needs, just snug. Okay. Now we can finally make our connection. Smooth, that's gonna be the hot. Say the third time is a charm. That was our third try. Okay. Now we can pull our wire down through there. Obviously that's not a three-way bulb, but we can tell it works. And we're safe. All I gotta do now is pull the slack out of the bottom here and she's ready to go. Safer old lamp. Let's check and see if we're safe. I've got the common lead and the ground of the plug up there. We're just gonna check the silver. You see there's no voltage. We're going to go down here and touch the bottom contactor, and there's our voltage. So we are safe. Nothing here. It's all on the bottom where it's supposed to be. I can touch it. There you go. There's your voltage. So we're good to go with a new plug. So I had it connected. I actually didn't have it in the ground. I had it in the common side of the plug right there. And that's our safe plug. There you go. Hope that saves you in the future.